waiting for the game to begin at the Cathedral of Baseball and covering many, many things. I mean, it was a complicated day. First of all, you should know, because it's important. It's important whether you're Jewish or you're not, or whether you follow the Western tradition. I mean, Christians are at least partially Jewish. They're Old Testament. I mean, Christians become familiar with the traditions and the values and the Jewish faith, which built up. The Ten Commandments come out of the Jewish era, not the Christian. So I say that because even though there have been at times unfortunate division, there's a lot of overlap in the big scheme of things between Christians and Jews. The kind of overlap that Muhammad falsely believed there was between Christians and Muslims and Jews and Muslims. So there was some kind of anti-Semitic incident, and I'd like to find out what it was, so we can see if we can take it down. But no matter what we do in taking it down, you just cannot be an honest person and not say that what's going on with anti-Semitism? What is going on? Is this really just the reaction to the manipulated publicity about Hamas and Israel that even some Jews fall for? Hamas is a terrorist organization, the blood-sucking, killing terrorist organization. They will kill. They'll kill women, children. Very, very hard to think about what they do, and very hard to think about how they skate. And then Israel is put up as the bad guy, and only the Israeli prime minister gets indicted. And he is at best playing a defensive war. So I don't know. Now, if we had to put together an organized body to face them as a world, forget the UN. The UN would have been and should have been that. But the UN's mission has been completely bastardized. And you have to count on the Yankees. So tonight is the final game. You got no more. It'd be interesting to see how these two teams that have played each other so often, either one of them has something new for us. One of the things that I'm not going to say is a necessary trait of a manager or something like only a brilliant manager knows this. What it really is this is a quintessential American institution. Even with the time they spent yesterday framing the Yankee Red Sox. And I don't know, do you think this is not true if you're not part of the New York, Boston group? You don't understand, Ted, the importance of the Yankee Red Sox?
No, I can tell you that as someone who grew up in Michigan.
You were a Tiger fan, right?
And a Detroit Tigers fan. But
congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. But being around you, Mayor, I really am just looking forward to this game. But I will tell you, no, the Yankees Red Sox rivalry, I appreciated it. I think a lot of us appreciated it in Michigan. I don't know if as you go further west, how it is, but that's one of the top national rivalries in American sports. I know you put it at number one. I have it up there in the top three.
Well,
that game. So we're just a few minutes away from that game starting right now.
You have the little cheat box for me?
Oh yeah, I got it. I'm putting that up. We have right now San Diego at Chicago, game 3. So the final game of their series. 3-1 Chicago, but in the top of the ninth, Padres have men on first and second with just 1 out.
Ooh, that could go either way, right? This is relief pitcher against hitter.
Right. So
do you have a better relief pitcher or do I have a better hitter? Whoa. Usually goes to the cooler character who can remain cool.
right.
Can the pitcher get himself down in the count and not worry about it? Still throw his best pitches? Can the guy at the plate not get nervous? He can make a fool out of himself. He swings and misses. How often have you seen a really professional hitter swing and miss, and then the first thing that happens when he comes up the next time, he hits a home run? I'm watching the inferior league playing right now.
Right.
I don't like their uniforms.
I wonder if we should put this up here.
It's gonna be a tough play.
Got him.
That's why umpires are good. You could not call that from the TV screen.
Schilt hoping for a challenge, and he'll call for one.
Matt Shaw looked like to me he had a little bit of trouble.
Alcohol at first base.
Matt Shaw had a little bit of trouble on the transfer, and then he threw a dart over to first base. Out or safe?
Oh, he's out.
He's out.
This is a replay review powered by Zoom, and it's just gone up. And the scoreboards here in Wrigley.
Well, Matt Shaw knew he was in trouble after he had a little bit of trouble, and he put everything he had. And that's a nice play over
kind of confusing because of uniform. You don't see it all the way. There's some similarity with the Yankees, but it's a light blue rather than a navy blue. Notice the pinstripes?
Yep.
And then the other guys have pinstripes too, but their uniforms look more like pajamas. I don't think I'd like to play in pajamas, Ted.
No?
Nah, I like distinguished looking uniforms. I have no idea what that. The Padres brown like the frocks they wear.
So 2 out, just 1 out for the Cubbies to move on. Runners on second and third. Joe Buck with the call.
Ooh. Oh.
He's got it. That's ball game.
Well, that was the last out.
That was it.
I didn't realize we were at the last out. Does this mean that the Padres move on? And the Cubbies?
The Cubbies move on, yes.
Well, that's going to be who won? The Cubbies, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's good for the Dodgers because the Padres are tough on the Dodgers.
Right, and they know them.
Yeah, this is a real break for the Dodgers.
Cubs' first postseason series win since the 2017 National League Division Series.
Oh, the NLDS, right? That's the National League. That's my bad.
Yeah, that's the considered the older league. The American League, even though it's 100 and something years old, is still called the Junior League.
And so now we move over to New York.
There's a cathedral of people should put this on where, Jack, if they want to watch while they get on and off. You see, you'll be able to learn what happened today and some of my observations on it and yours. And at the same time, you'll be able to keep up with baseball.
Right. So Yankees and Red Sox just about to begin.
They're getting ready, right, for the game?
Yep. There it is.
Your heartbeat through your jersey. I mean, there's
Well,
no doubt about it.
We'll get on it once it starts here. So earlier today, the Tigers defeated the Indians, so they move on.
Who did?
The Tigers beat the Indians,
They're a good team.
so they'll now play the Mariners. And the winner tonight will head to Toronto to play the Blue Jays. In the National League, the Dodgers defeated the Reds in 2 games, so they move on. And tonight, the Cubs just defeated the Padres, so they will go on to play, I believe, Philadelphia. Let me check that.
Well, we're going to see if we can get.
Chicago will play Milwaukee. The Dodgers will play Philadelphia.
Cam Schiller against Red Sox rookie Connolly Early. Both pitchers are rookies. This is a very difficult. I'd like you to consider how difficult this is for a rookie. He's never pitched in the major leagues until now. This gentleman, I think, about 3 months. The other one, about a month and a half. And he comes from Massachusetts, by the way. And he's got to throw perfectly. Now, he has been nothing less than phenomenal in his short span. It's not a big sample size. But he's been really good. He's a big, lanky right-hander. Now, it is a little strange because in all the prior games, all the starting pitchers are left-handed, largely because both teams have very, very dangerous left-handed batters, home run hitters, and you can neutralize to some extent the home run at least. That was a high pitch, too high. So we were discussing before that Hamas seems to be sending double signals. Hamas is getting pressured very, very hard by Qatar, which is a good thing. It's a good thing to turn the tables on them, to have Qatar break with them and say, you got to get this over with. But who turned those tables? A lot of people didn't want us to do business with Qatar. When you're doing business with dangerous people, they're going to be doing business with dangerous people. Or when you're investigating dangerous people, they're going to be doing business with dangerous people. So you have got to have those people infiltrating for you. You got to work as hard as you can to keep them under control. And if you don't, then you got to report it and see if you can continue working with the person. Mm-hmm. Now, here's a strange one, Ted. I know Randy Weingarten for a long, long time. Randy was the head of the teachers union in New York when I was the mayor. I will say, without personal insult, that she is a flame-throwing communist. And she is extraordinarily unreasonable about what has to be done for schools, which is enormously painful and difficult for the children. She opposes the expansion of charter schools. New Yorkers, if you just judge by the crowds that come out and the letters get written, are dying for these forms of private school, really, for their children, where the teachers come and they're dedicated to educating them, getting them through and getting them into college. I mean, with all of the distractions going on, that's a wonderful thing. So Boston is now down to their last out in the first inning. So we're down to 2 outs now in the top of the first. This is the leadoff of the game. Oh, that was strike. That was right over the plate. I don't know why he looked at that, but I'll tell you why he looked at that. I'm going to give you a reason. It's the beginning of the count. He wants to see what he's got. How's the ball spinning? How fast is it? Because that'll change a little, but it won't change as much. Oh! Where the hell are you going to put Goldsmith back there? Where are you going to put Goldsmith back there? Boom. That's the second error by this guy. Why don't you let me manage? I wouldn't have him at first. Teddy.
Oh, can't drop that.
Now, here's the thing. They have him in because he hits left-handed pitchers better. The other guy that they have, Paul Goldsmith, is an all-star.
Why is he not?
Yes, he has trouble with left-handed hitters, but if it's a big occasion, he'll be up for it. Finally, he's as good a first baseman as you're going to find in baseball. I will guarantee. This is the guy that let the ball go yesterday that scored a run for the Red Sox. I'm telling you, this has to be. Yeah, well, the pitcher bailed him out. This guy should go over to the pitcher and say, "Thank you for bailing me out." And the manager can't do it because you only have two catchers. Maybe you put him at, maybe you put him, where could you put him?
Yeah, I mean, that's a can't be making those sorts of mistakes here in the.
When you have a good first baseman, Tino Martinez was a left-handed hitting first baseman. Joe Torre didn't platoon him. Platoon my ass.
So 0-0 as we enter the bottom of the.
So I was telling you that Randy Weingarten wears an American flag in a paper clip. American flag says is because she's a loyal American. Yeah, okay, we'll accept that. The Norwegian pin symbolizes Norwegian protest against Adolf Hitler in World War II. And she's doing a tour on her fascist book that basically Republicans are fascists. This is what the woman who controls half of the teachers in America that are bending the minds of your children. This woman is a flame-throwing, communist, atheistic, anti-American with similar agenda to that. It's really a shame. It's really a shame.
You had to deal with her in New York, correct?
Yes, I did. And I would say she was entirely unreasonable. Yeah, I mean, she's been an obstructionist from the time that she's been with that union. But that union is an obstructionist union. Yeah, sure. What the heck? The Biden years were golden years for Weingarten and friends. Then First Lady, in parentheses, the Dr. Jill Biden, otherwise known as the first stepmother, was a teacher in the Weingarten mold. In other words, a lefty propagandist. In a White House event honoring educators, she once described Weingarten and her National Education Association counterpart, Becky Pringle, as good friends and incredible partners. What are they partnering? Destroying education? Every year Biden was in office, our ability of our children to read and to write would go in the toilet.
Right.
After promising to open a majority of K-12 public schools within his first 100 days, Biden wimped out, redefining open to at least one day a week. He was controlled by the teachers union. They all are. New York City has something called charter schools. It was crazy to get it past the union. We only have a few of them. We've given the union the right to veto them, and they 100. Last time I checked, so it probably is more. The figure that's usually used is the following: 160,000 parents of children in public schools in New York City want a scholarship so their kid can go to a charter school, a private school, or a parochial school. But under no circumstances the school that is teaching them to be a Marxist and a criminal, and in some cases, a sexual pervert. And you can't get any more charter schools. The New York State legislature, as protectionist legislation for the labor unions, has put a cap, 200 and something charter schools. The last report card that came out, New York City went further down, further down, further down. They spent more money, but they went further down. 20 years of spending more money going down, more money going down. Charter schools came up. They spend much less money. But they have something called dedication. No, they have something called dedication. Well, I don't know how you're not getting her around to agreeing to something rational and something reasonable.
And let's hear it for these kids, 24 and 23 years old, 8 pitches.
That insisted that the kids stay locked up for an extra year in the public schools. The parochial school kids, the private school kids, the charter school kids did not remain in isolation and in their homes for an extra year. They're brought back very quickly. They have not had the educational devastation that these other children have had. Not just the educational devastation, but the emotional devastation. The minute I heard they were going to lock people at home, I said, have they considered the countervailing damage that does? Have they considered, if they're going to go ahead with it, how they're going to ameliorate it? They didn't. That's simple. Now, Harvard, you might remember, Ted, that Harvard just forked over 500 grand. 500 grand. Wasn't it 500 billion? No, 500 million, right? 500 million. Yeah, 500 million.
Yep.
They forked over 500 million to set up a trade school, but not a trade school. The Harvard Trade School. Now, I don't know. I think this is a very good idea, but I have to have some fun, okay? I can see it now. Ted comes in with his car, and there's the first graduate of the Harvard Trade School. And Ted says, my battery isn't working. I need a new battery. Oh. We don't call it a battery any longer. We call it an energy source because we have other energy sources. Mr. Goodman, would you consider if we put a little fan there and we waited for the wind? No, I'm serious. We'll put the... Okay, Mr. Goodman. I can see you've probably been influenced by those fascist Republicans. So I'm getting for you. I'm going to put the fan on the roof. And Ted says, but sir, this is the dry season. We don't have any wind for 3 months. So the Harvard student would say, pray tell, you really expect to drive all year round? You must be an entitled white man. Are you white? So Ted, now a little taken aback, goes like, yes, sir, I'm white. Oh. Mr. Fairfax, please come here. What's the premium we charge entitled white men for a car? He's not black. He's not brown. He's not related to Elizabeth Warren. Asians, we don't do shit for. Oh, I'm sorry. Harvard people don't talk that way. So how much more do we charge him? How much more do we charge him for how much do we charge him for the entitlement privilege? Oh, 20% more for him. And that's where we were headed before the great Donald Trump came into office. Ooh, we are not headed there anymore. Not happening. Goodbye. Forget it. So Harvard has now decided to balance their trade school idea, which might help poor people and middle-class people and the people that Harvard disdains. They disdain them. They hate them. They have hired someone. If he was my teacher, I'd find it really odd writing his name. Kareem Buchandani. I think I got it, Ted. Would anyone like to contradict me? Kareem Buchandani.
I wouldn't know it.
Okay, we don't have to call him that. His nickname is Lahore Vagistan.
Oh gosh.
So he's going to teach. He's been hired by the, catch this, I didn't know Harvard had this, Studies of Gender and Sexuality Department. You think they get a large number of people that apply for that? The whole football team applies for it. Not that the football team at Harvard is really a football team, but
there she is up on the screen.
That's yeah. Is that
Kareem
Lahore
Buchandani? Yes.
Okay. Now I'm going to give you the etymology of the description here. Every once in a while, she makes it easy and she lectures under the shortened name Lahore. This is really good for kids. This is the reason that you pay 70 grand a year, 80 grand a year to send your kid to Harvard so that he can be taught about gender and sexuality by Lahore Vagistan. But Lahore Vagistan teaches several courses, several. He teaches in the fall, which is what you start with, queer ethnography. Ted, what in the name of heaven is queer ethnography? That course alone will cost you 10, 12 grand. When you come out of it, what the hell are you going to do with it?
That's nuts.
What is queer ethnography? What's ethnography?
Ethno, something to do with
ethnic?
Yeah.
Ethnic studies?
Yes. Yeah. That would be my guess. In the meantime, let's just check it out.
That would make.
And of course, Rodon kept a lot of the lefties on the bench for the Red Sox, similar to what Crochet did.
Ethnography. I'm going to look it up. We're going to take a break. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to tell you what it is. It's still nothing. How many strikes, Ted, do you have to throw to strike somebody out?
3 last time I checked.
About 4 or 5?
Yeah, they got a guy on first. 1 out.
What, did they just put him there?
Yeah.
Well played 34 games in the regular season for Boston, hit 280. And a couple of home
That's a funny mustache the Red Sox has. It's a little bit Hitler-like.
Is
Look I'm not supposed to say that, I guess. But
Do you?
I hope he hasn't been hanging around with Lahore Pakistan. Oh, that was up high.
Too wide to be the infamous stash.
Yeah. It was like,
Yeah.
was he ever seen without it? I'm sure as a young man, but I don't remember pictures of him.
It went out of style real quick after 1945.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, before he became the horrible dictator and murderer that he was, did he always have that mustache?
That's a good question.
That's the strike. You're out.
Nope. Ball. Inside.
Oh. You see Wells look back? You see him look back?
Oh, he's blowing big bubbles.
Booney's
Bubbles
not
are
too happy either. They're trying to give this game to Boston, I think. They have it in Major League Baseball has always had a very, very tense relationship with them. Partially because George Steinbrenner would fight with them like hell, sometimes over patriotism. Do you know when George introduced the singing of America the Beautiful in the 7th inning? That was introduced in the game right after September 11th. I believe the game that George Bush used to throw out the first pitch. He then repeated it every game, not many left for the year, and he got the World Series to do it. So now we come back for the next season. He's all ready to have it.
Another strikeout.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you about another strikeout. Even though I'm talking, I'm paying attention. That strikeout is in the same spot the other one was.
Wow, right up there.
Then he goes 101 down at the knees. Good luck right there.
Yep. Well, I mean, yeah, I think they fool with that. But those were both in pretty much the same spot. The only difference is the other one was a little more inside. Now tell me that one wasn't in the same spot.
That was low.
But it was Ted. You got to watch when it goes across the plate, not where the catcher catches it. I have to say, Wellesley's got to help him by bringing the ball up.
There he did it there. Oh, that just missed.
He really tantalizes the strike zone.
That's a good way of putting it.
Usually when you do, I mean, I don't know him as a pitcher that well. Usually when you do that, you don't have a great fastball.
Bouncer double play? Oh, you don't need a double play here.
Ooh, well, didn't that like that to be thrown high?
Yep.
Look a little dangerous.
So now we'll enter the bottom of the second.
We take a little break now?
Let's take a break so we can pay the bills.
Particularly the electricity. You won't see us. U.S. Army Major Scott Smiley paid a high price serving our nation. Scott was leading his platoon in Iraq when a blast sent shrapnel through his eyes, leaving him blind and temporarily paralyzed. Scott would become the first blind active duty military officer before medically retiring years later. Thanks to friends like you, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation gave Scott and his family a mortgage-free, specially adapted smart home. Show your support for America's heroes now. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org.
Are you ready for some action?
I'm ready for action.
Get the Elite TV plan only through the portal. 218 channels, and it's only $69.95 a month.
Wow.
Including your free portal.
That's cheaper than everyone else.
Your favorite sports, movies, news,
wow.
even daytime dramas. We're talking about ESPN, OAN, Newsmax,
wow.
channels you can't get anymore in certain areas.
Compared to the competition, this is a way better deal.
Endless selection. Not to mention all the free music channels. There's over 700 premium and classic movies all ready to go.
Wow.
Plus, they got catch-up TV that allows you to go back and watch what you've missed or want to watch again. Cut your cable in half and get twice as much for free.
Way more channels for half the cost.
After the first year, the subscription then drops to $57.95 monthly, where you change or upgrade anytime. Go to QUXNow.com and get yours today. Use promo code RUDY. Act fast. These deals are selling out.
Here we are, pretty much at the beginning of the process here at this pristine, I call it a laboratory. It's not like a factory, it's like a hospital. This is the beginning of the process for roasting. Deep grain, very good quality. Most people don't use this quality. We deal with small farmers because they like to know who we're dealing with. They give us the highest quality, all organic, non-GMO. You should know all Arabica beans, no Robusto, all Arabica. They're gonna go into the roaster and it'll get roasted for about 20 minutes or so. Oh my goodness, look at these. My goodness. You're going to want to specially order these. This is what goes into Rudy's coffee.
U.S. Army Major Scott Smiley paid a high price serving our nation. Scott was leading his platoon in Iraq when a blast sent shrapnel through his eyes, leaving him blind and temporarily paralyzed. Scott would become the first blind active duty military officer before medically retiring years later. Thanks to friends like you, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation gave Scott and his family a mortgage-free, specially adapted smart home. Show your support for America's heroes now. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org.
And we're back.
Well, here we are back, and the Yankees are in this numbers are so little there. What inning is it, Ted?
Bottom of the second.
The bottom of the second. Juan Carlos Stanton just hit a double, and there's none out. So this should just a little more on that ball would be in Brooklyn. So you know that we have a terrible problem in my lovely, wonderful native city of New York, because the people aren't so lovely and wonderful. They keep voting 170 years of Democrats. I was the third Republican elected mayor in the 20th century, I believe. I was only the second to remain a Republican. In fact, even my successor, Mike Bloomberg, changed to Democrat or independent and then Democrat. Now he's a really big Democrat. So the philosophy and thinking of the Republican Party, free market, free speech, doesn't really work. Of greater importance to them is the crookedness of the Democratic Party, because the thing that has defined it for years is how damn crooked it is. Going back to Boss Tweed right up into Adams, and whether Adams was part of the shakedown, kick around of the hundreds of millions in welfare money and homeless money, and particularly alien money, I don't know. But he sure as heck was negligent about it. And of course he would have to be, otherwise they'd have thrown him out. And he wasn't the strongest guy in terms of. So in any event, my chief of staff I had several, but in the latter part of my term, my chief of staff is Tony Carbonetti. The ones who get the battle medals are the ones who went through September 11 with me, and he did, and he was a tower of strength. And also Tony was with me politically since he was a young man out of college, and he has fabulous political instincts, particularly about New York. Aren't too many people. There are a couple of others, but I mean, Tony has won more elections than anybody else. Well, in any event, I asked him today about the situation we're in. So we started out with 4 candidates, basically, right? The incumbent Mayor Adams, the council member or assembly member, I don't know what he is, Zoltan Mondami, an acknowledged communist, an anti-American hater of Jewish people. Andrew Cuomo, the last governor of New York, who left in a terrible scandal, which was never explained. He had to leave office. And Curtis Sliwa, the man who developed the Guardian Angels, just happens to be that I got to know Curtis when he was a young man, and I was a supporter of what he did. And the police and the mayor were jealous of him because and I saw him as somebody who could help. And by the time I became mayor, we integrated what he did into what was happening. And over the years, in many ways, we became close friends. And I also noticed that Curtis not only was helping to keep the city safe, but he was also rehabilitating these kids. But he's just not being taken seriously because he's a Republican. And I don't know, it might be his campaigning. I'm at a loss to tell you. So the way the lineup stands right now, number 1, Mondami, about 12 to 15 points ahead of Cuomo, the former governor, but the disgraced former governor. Next, Curtis. Next, Adams, the incumbent mayor. Well, Adams realized he wasn't going anywhere. Incumbent mayor's down to 8%. You're not going anywhere. When you got 3 people on top, so he just dropped out, and he's deciding whether to endorse Cuomo or Sliwa, the Republican. Sounds like he's going to go with the Democrat, because I have to tell you that Adams was not a bad man. Maybe. It depends on whether he took some of that money or not. But he's not a strong man. He'll go with the Democratic Party. Same problem Cuomo has, which I'll explain separately. But Cuomo may very well have the best chance to win unless things have really changed. And let's have Tony explain it to you. Because frankly, he's closer to it now and will understand it better than I will. So we'll have him on several times during this election. And some of his pals who are deeply involved in both sides. Tony works both with Republicans and Democrats. Mayor, I always turn to this guy, Tony Carbonetti. He was my chief of staff, assistant chief of staff. He was a major advisor in all my mayoral elections and then later on. And I don't think there was too many important decisions I didn't talk over with him. Tony, I'm going to tell you the truth. I am really, first of all, very upset about this. You know that. The idea of a communist taking over New York City, no joke, is no joke. And it could be irreparable damage to the city. Second, looks like nobody can beat him. And so I go back and forth between Cuomo and Curtis. And I don't know where I'm going to come out. Probably I'll go in the shower and it'll come to me. It reminds me when I had to choose between, I had to choose for police commissioner. So, but I had 2 good guys that time.
Yeah, you couldn't go wrong there.
Yeah, now I got 2, I don't know, they're not bad guys, but they don't seem like the right.
Well, I think we have one really bad guy.
They're not even sure that they can win, but okay. So now it comes down to Cuomo and Sliwa. Tell me why you are either have picked or are inclined to pick Cuomo.
I am picking Cuomo.
Okay,
I'll tell you why. Right. Go back first of all, several months ago, I used to say when I used to do the radio shows with Katz and Matides, I told everyone that Cuomo was going to lose the primary, and everyone thought I was crazy because Andrew was up by 10 points, and there's no way he could lose. And I said, you guys don't understand. New York City's Democratic primary has been hijacked by the progressives. You never see it coming until it actually happens. And it's and actually at the time there were 8 candidates in the race. And I said, here's the thing. Of those 8 candidates, nobody's second choice is Andrew. Why? Because the guy that votes for someone who came in 8th place, he knows who Andrew is. He's not. The progressives have hijacked this primary process.
So we have to explain to people that we have ranked choice voting.
I'm sorry, yes, the ranked choice voting.
It would take me 2 hours to really explain it, and you still wouldn't understand it. But you can.
It's unconstitutional if you ask me, but that's besides the point.
You get credit.
And I learned that from
place,
you.
3rd place, 4th place.
So all of that being said, Andrew ended up losing by 100,000 votes. Okay, that's it. 100,000, 120,000 votes, whatever it was. No Republicans, no independents.
And this was a Democratic primary.
Democratic primary.
Always a small percentage of Democrats and the most left wing. That would traditionally be the case.
And a very big turnout from the progressives. This is what they do well. This is they hijack these Democratic primaries. Let me tell you something. If you remember when AOC beat Joe Crowley, our friend Joe Lieberman begged Crowley to run in the general election. And by the way, Lieberman was right. Crowley would have beaten her. She won that primary. She became a national figure. I think she got 16,000 votes. On 16,000 votes, that woman became a national figure. Okay? And it's happened throughout the state where 20-year, 30-year Democrats have lost primaries to these progressives, and then they slink away. They don't run in the general. Well, Andrew's holding this guy to task. Andrew's actually going to make him run through the tape. And if you look at the last 3 mayoral races, the Democrat has gotten roughly 750 to 800,000. The Republican always gets 300,000 to 325,000. Okay? I went and looked at Andrew's last gubernatorial race, which was only 7 years ago in New York City. It was a New York statewide race, but I extrapolated only the 5 boroughs. Okay? In the 5 boroughs, Molinaro, who was running against him, got 325,000 votes. Andrew got 1.7 million. 1.7 million. And I said to myself, wow, maybe that means that's how much the Democratic governor gets. So I looked at Hochul. She got 1.25 4 years later. Andrew has a vote out there. If half of those people voted for him, he wins. So there's people inclined to vote for him. He has to go get them.
But why is he not? Of course, we don't trust polls, but there's enough of them, so you got to at least look at them. Why does he not show that in any of the polls? I mean, he's always behind by anywhere from 10 to 15 points. That's a pretty big deficit in a 3-4-man race.
Because they're counting Zoran's vote as if he can. The 0 to a million, Zoran might beat him. When you go from 1 million to 1.5 million, it's like I explained to Curtis. Okay, I like Curtis. Curtis is a great New Yorker, right? Curtis is going to get 250,000. He's not going to get the 315,000 he got last time. He's probably going to get about 250. He got 315 to 318,000. I voted for him last time.
30%.
Okay, he got 28%. 28%. Okay, he's going to get less than that this time.
Trump did better than that, right?
Trump's numbers are through the roof. Trump's Republican. No one else is like him. There's no, since you ran.
His Trump numbers in the general election. Trump did better than 28%. I think.
I think he did. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But so Curtis will get 250,000 votes because he's probably going to. He loses people like me that are going to switch because he just can't win. But Curtis's numbers will diminish after that first 1 million. Curtis doesn't have another 200,000 out there. You see what I'm saying? That next half a million
is that he doesn't have the ability to bring new people, new voters in.
He's not maxing
well known enough. He's not well known enough. He's well known, but not well known enough as a political figure, as a political leader.
He said to me, he's like, Tony, everyone in New York City knows who I am. I'm a great New York figure. I said, everyone in the city knows who the naked cowboy is. I'm not making him mayor. Okay. It's just the reality. But it's a reality. Okay. The guy that sings in Times Square, he's not going to become mayor either. But we need to vote for Andrew, because this idea, by the way, I take the subway every day. I take New York City buses. Free buses. You know what a free bus with a Zoran police department is? It's a mobile. It's a mobile homeless shelter. Okay, that's what a free bus is with Zoran's police commissioner. It's insane.
He's not going to have a police commissioner. He's going to have a
social worker,
a New York City psychiatrist in chief, and the social the peacekeepers. They're going to come on when the guy, like the one in Atlanta, took the knife out and put it in the girl's throat. He's going to come up and say, "Come on now, use your words. Use your words. You can do better than that."
Yeah, it's disgusting what's going to happen to this city if that guy gets elected. It really is.
So today he's in a big fight with the police union. He doesn't want this. He doesn't want the police commissioner making the final decision on whether a police officer is removed or not. He wants the CCRB to make it. Now, as I remember, I used to make the final decision on whether a police officer was removed or not.
That's how it's supposed to work. You're elected and accountable. But you're elected and accountable.
I even got sued for that when I took those guys off that recreated a lynching. But the reality is, he's going to take these crazy anti-cop, hateful people that are on the CCRB, and the police commissioner can't apply police common sense to it. And if you can't decide who gets fired, you're not the police commissioner.
Right.
The crazy CCRB people are.
Mayor, I'm waiting for him to say something like, the jury pool going forward, we should select people from Rikers Island so you really have a jury of your peers, because that's what the Constitution says, right? You get a jury of your peers. So give me 12 criminals from Rikers Island, that's my jury. I mean, that's how crazy we're talking about.
Why did you suggest that, Tony? He hadn't thought of that yet.
It's coming down the pike.
Jury of your peers means people kind of like you. So if you're a 3-time rapist and a 2-time murderer, there got to be a couple of rapists and murders on the
Don't give me a jury of decent citizens. They're going to put me in jail. I want you to give me people from Rikers Island that are my peers.
So I got to ask you, how doable do you think it is? Because now all the experts, right? They've obviously counted Curtis out, which I think is unfair, but okay, they've counted him out. But they've almost counted Cuomo out.
Curtis's number continues to go down, and it will go down as people
and is that going to move?
realize.
Is that number going to move to Cuomo?
Yeah, I think. I also think these polls don't really understand that Zoran has a cap. They're treating him as if he's a regular Democrat, and he's not. Okay, he's a progressive. Until I see him run through the tape, it's not happened before. They have not had to run a full race. Like I said earlier, the loser of the primary is always bowed out, and they get the progressive gets a free run. He's not a regular Democrat. There's plenty of regular, normal, middle of the road Democrats. A lot of them that voted for you. Okay, you didn't get.
Are there still enough of them? Like my feeling is that electorate that we had, that a lot of it is gone. A lot of it's gone somewhere else, living somewhere else. They've gone to the suburbs. A lot of it was the Jewish vote. The Jewish population in the city is down. The young people who like socialism better than capitalism are up. So is that vote there? And then how much of a barrier does Cuomo have? I mean, there are people that just won't vote for Cuomo.
Absolutely. When you've been around that long and you've had some of look, am I happy with cashless bail? Absolutely not. Right. Okay. But I think Andrew now realizes at that point in his life, he was sucking up to the progressives. He wanted to be president.
Big mistake.
Okay.
I believe that Cuomo would be the guy to save the Democratic Party if he had remained in the middle and basically half the time tried to act like he was
he outgamed himself
and then do assist a soldier like Clinton did.
He outgamed himself. He thought too much about it, and he was thinking, Biden's going to fall apart. I'm going to own the progressives. Whereas we see what's happening, by the way, which is AOC. Bernie Sanders is trying to hand his progressives to AOC. Okay. 100%. I also think, by the way, this race determines her future. If Zoran wins, she runs directly for president. If Zoran loses,
not against
president.
Not against the traitor.
If Zoran loses, she runs against Chucky. Okay, but if Zoran wins,
I think she'll in a Democratic primary, she'll kill him. I don't think he even runs.
If she, you think he just walks away?
Yeah, look, he's been hiding for 2 years. Really,
it's terrible.
Yeah. Well, okay, Tone, you're in Doha.
I'm in Doha for the week.
Scene of the action where Qatar is working really hard to try to get Hamas to agree. President did a miracle there.
The president's been absolutely amazing on this. Okay,
he's got every Arab country agreeing with the peace process, including the one you're in. He even has the non-Hamas Palestinians agreeing with it. All the European countries, including the ones that are trying to recognize a Palestinian country, just Hamas. What he's done is he flipped the script. Israel was in the middle. We were in the middle. Hamas now is in the middle. Yep. Doing the same thing in Russia, too, but we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah. No, he's been very fair. Okay, thank you. You got it. Go Yankees.
As usual, brilliant. Okay.
Talk to you later.
All right. Extremely informative interview from, you've probably seen Tony before. I've had him on quite a bit on many issues. I mean, I'd have him on any political issue. He's about as informed and about as sensible, and he's a tremendous problem solver. So like like the president, when I received the great honor from Queen Elizabeth, and she made me a knight of the royal whatever, of knight of something or other, but I was a knight. I joked around. I didn't say it with her. I didn't think she'd get the joke.
The real
but
deal.
I did tell other people in England, I can't call myself a knight because they won't let me back in Brooklyn if I ask them to call me sir. And all the way, also I'd lose my citizenship, but that's another matter. Okay, so I told her and I meant this. I know she thought it was like false humility or something. I said, I'm here, Your Majesty, because I stood on the shoulders of giants. You don't know what great people I had. As we were going through September 11, they just proved to me they were better than I thought. And he's one of the top ones. Over the course of time, we've had some of them on. We had Rudy Washington on about 2 weeks ago. That's another amazing hero. Tom von Essen, of course, he's well known. Of course, we had Bernie on until his untimely death. I mean, these are all people that got me through. Tony was one of them. And what it reminds me of is the good people the president has now. I was enormously impressed yesterday with the group that he had, the group supporting him on the government shutdown, the group supporting him on reducing drug prices. And he's right in there with them. He's like a participant with them. Most of the time, the president's just like Dodo Biden. They read whatever you give them. They have the foggiest idea what their secretaries are doing. This is a great president. Well, I'm going to take a break. We'll come back, and then we'll catch you up on everything, including the game, which has moved into what inning, Ted? I can't see the inning there.
Bottom of the third, 2 outs.
Yeah, it's
1-1
going,
count
it's
with a man
going
on base.
slowly. It's going slow because it started at 8, remember, where the other night it started, the other chance started at 6.
Right.
We'll be right back.
Hitter against a 23-year-old pitcher. On the ground to Bregman, and he will go across the diamond, and the changeup gets Judge again. Finally early, Cam Schlittler 1/3 of the way through. No runs and only 3.
U.S. Army Major Scott Smiley paid a high price serving our nation. Scott was leading his platoon in Iraq when a blast sent shrapnel through his eyes, leaving him blind and temporarily paralyzed. Scott would become the first blind active duty military officer before medically retiring years later. Thanks to friends like you, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation gave Scott and his family a mortgage-free, specially adapted smart home. Show your support for America's heroes now. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at t2t.org.
Here we are, pretty much at the beginning of the process here at this pristine, I call it a laboratory. It's not like a factory, it's like a hospital. This is the beginning of the process for roasting. Deep grain, very good quality. Most people don't use this quality. We deal with small farmers because they like to know who we're dealing with. They give us the highest quality, all organic, non-GMO. You should know all Arabica beans, no Robusto, all Arabica. They're going to go into the roaster, and it'll get roasted for about 20 minutes or so. Oh my goodness, look at these. My goodness. You're going to want to specially order these. This is what goes into Rudy's coffee.
This is Rudy Giuliani, and I'm back with you. I do believe we're in a change of innings here in the baseball game. It's really remarkable. Cam Schlittler and Connolly Early, both rookies. Schlittler has a little more experience, but not by a lot. Let me see here. Oh my goodness. And they both have 5 strikeouts tonight. Now, Cam has the advantage of having a little more experience, and the other fella has the advantage of being a left-handed pitcher in a ballpark that is conducive to a left-handed pitcher. But they're virtually their numbers, which I just checked. You just threw a very nice strike. The numbers that I just checked, I don't see daylight between them. Both have 5 strikeouts. We're only in the, gosh, I got to look real close here. We're only in the 4th inning. No, the Yankees have only been up 3 times. This is the 4th time the Red Sox have been up. 5 strikeouts, 3 times up, no runs, young kids, tremendous pressure, great lineups. You got to be kidding me. There's a fly ball. It's way out there. Aaron Judge is under it. He's got it. And it was not really close as a home run. It was hit too high. The minute it arcs that high, you know it's not going to be a home run. I love doing this. I hope you don't mind. I have this great fantasy of being a play-by-play announcer. I was very, very close to the Yankees, both before, during, and after I was mayor. Certainly when George was alive. I still am, but it's not quite the same without George. George was a really, really big friend. I mean, a good friend of mine and of the president when he wasn't the president. And even some of our friendship, President Trump and I, was fostered by George. So first of all, he was the most confident, strong, no barriers to anything person, except when you got into the baseball game being played. Oh my God, was he nervous? When they played the Mets, he didn't want to go to Shea Stadium. And all of his team and his family felt he should go. And they said he should go with me because I was the mayor, right? Strangely, I was more popular where the Mets play than where the Yankees play. I mean, one was like big, what one would call Giuliani country, and the other was really solid Democrat. But when I would go, no matter what, politics didn't matter when I walked in on a ball game. I'd go into Shea Stadium. I gotta say, 3/4 of the people voted for me, or the people from the suburbs would have loved to vote for me, and they booed me. Then I'd go to Yankee Stadium. Probably the numbers were a little better, but it had to be that some large portion of the audience wouldn't vote for a Republican no matter what. They would cheer like crazy. Now, if they were at a rally at City Hall, they'd be throwing things at me. The baseball is very, very strange. So now the Red Sox have 2 out. I think 2 out. And I'm not sure who was batting. He was a lefty, which
Yoshida
is part of. Who was it?
Yoshida.
This should be the end of the inning. It is. So that didn't go on for very long, and Rafaela was not exactly happy about that. He threw his hat down in a very, very nasty and non-professional way. And if I were his manager, I would teach him like they had to teach the Yankee pitcher last night, who restrained it beautifully, I thought, last night. You got to play within your emotions. Baseball is not football. Football, there are positions in football where you can let your emotions go. Now, you can't let them go so you commit penalties, but you can let them go so you hit harder than you ordinarily would, or you push harder. But there's nothing to push in baseball. You can't push a ball over the field, over the home run. You got to swing at it. Not quite like a golf ball, but it has to be a long swing. It has to be a rhythmic swing. You've got to be concentrating on where the ball is coming in. There's a lot to it. So let's go over some things that you need to know, because censorship, I may devote the rest of my life to fighting censorship. I'm thinking about it, and there are people that are suggesting that to me. I'd like to know what you think. We should open up the lines again, Ted. I'd love to get some advice from these wonderful people on what I should do. There are so many authors and suggestions. I really would like to. You can't do everything, and I want to do the right thing. It's like this choice on Mandami. Who should you pick?
Mm-hmm.
So I called Tony today. I put him on. You heard it, right? I also will tell you, Ted and I have had very long conversations. Of course, Dr. Maria, our partner, very long conversations. A very long conversation with my son, Andrew, who is a very, very astute political mind, particularly with knowledge in New York, having run for governor quite admirably. Some other people that probably would not like to be mentioned, where I went over the pros and cons, which I always do. I argue the side that if they tell me they're for Sleewer, I argue that, how can Curtis win? And if they tell me they're for Cuomo, I said, why would they vote for a guy who left in disgrace? Pretty good question, huh? On the other hand, I can say, well, look, they're desperate. Cuomo has the advantage of having done it. He ran a state. But then I would say, but how did he run it? Well, I'm getting there. I've come up with a couple of ideas now to think out tonight, which I really don't want to reveal right now because I think it would give away where I'm going. And I might not go there, so I don't want to create a false impression. But I think by tomorrow night, I'll make an announcement here on the show of who I'm endorsing and why. I'm not just going to say I'm endorsing so-and-so and vote for him. I'm going to tell you the reasons I have. I'm going to ask you to vote for him if you agree with my reasons. If you don't agree with my reasons, say thank you, Mayor, for sharing that with us. I just don't agree with you. You don't have to say you're an effing idiot, right? And I won't say that you are. We got to learn how to talk to each other that way. I think we're not enemies. We're enemies with the Chinese. We are. Cut it out. Don't tell me I'm creating a war. I'm preventing a war by recognizing it.
Oh, he missed it.
Well, right now, there was one of the most ridiculously crazy plays with none out in the
bottom of the fourth.
Bottom of the fourth?
Mm-hmm.
That's it?
Bottom of the fourth.
This could be the slowest game in the history of baseball.
Well, if it's a 3-hour game.
So you know what this was? This was a high fly ball that confused the center fielder. The center fielder misplayed it. Now I'm going to tell you this about the Red Sox, and I think this is correct. I tried to check this out before the series. I do think the Red Sox may arguably have, and I say arguably because I can't be absolutely sure. You got to listen to one of those guys that talks really fast. And, you know, those sports guys, I love sports. And I listen to the sports show, but I don't understand why they scream so much. And I don't understand why they have to have 6 people on.
Yeah, they've been doing that.
2 of them would be good. It would be easier to follow them. And then they don't get to follow up on anything. I think they're given, and these are guys who could really explain it to you in many ways better than I can because they played the game at a much higher level. But they've made it into like silly entertainment instead of serious sports talk. Howard Cosell would go crazy. Everybody made fun of Howard Cosell, but he had in-depth sports analysis. Sometimes he didn't know what he was talking about. Sometimes he was brilliant. On boxing, the only person better than Howard Cosell on boxing was my father. Understanding the strategy of it.
A memorable first at bat because he thought he had taken this thing out of town, and instead it hits off the bottom.
That was earlier.
What?
That was a replay from earlier.
That's too bad.
Thought he hit it out of the park, and it just was short.
He's due for a home run.
Well, you got a man on second, no outs.
He's a playoff hitter. Yeah, he hasn't been a playoff hitter in this playoff yet, Juan Carlos Stanton. This is a big time since there is nobody out. At minimum, you want to move the guy to third, right, Ted?
Oh yeah.
Even if you got to give yourself up as an out, you want to move him to third so that with 1 out, he's on third base. But I'd rather see something better from a guy that can hit the ball 120 miles an hour.
This is not a bunting situation.
Well, that's good. That's good. That's okay. You got to walk.
They might look at it as okay too, right?
No. Well, yeah. They might. No, they don't. I don't think.
With no outs, you don't do that.
You mean you got out of it, or you got out of hitting a home run? You don't want to put 2 men on base.
And you got a double play. You got a double play.
If we had 2 outs,
yeah,
1 man on, and maybe the next guy you're facing isn't as tough as Stanton,
then you walk him.
Well, you kind of, we would call that a soft walk, right?
Yeah.
You hope you're going to get him to go for a bad pitch. But now here's the guy who can't play first base. I'm sorry, son, but you made 2 errors, and 2 are too many in the playoff. And you would not, on my team, in a game like this, be playing first base. You go, I don't want to risk another throw to you that goes past you. I bring Goldschmidt in. I don't give a shit about your bat. But I learned that from, that's not my idea. I learned that from Joe Torre, and I wish Aaron Boone knew it. He cost us a run last night because Aaron Boone didn't know it. That was a good pitch. There was no way. You see where that pitch was placed, Ted? The pitch was placed around, a little above the knees. You couldn't do much with that, but ground it out. That'd be it. Oh, this pitch has got him. This kid doesn't know where the hell he is. Why Goldschmidt doesn't come up now, I don't get it. I have no understanding of it. Somebody has to explain it to me. I don't know Boone well enough to call him and ask him. If this were years ago and it was me and Joe Torre, I'd call Joe and say, what the hell were you doing with this guy? There you go. You go sit down. Go sit down and make another error at first base. Yeah, you're as good a hitter as you are at first base. Look at this.
It looks like a strike the whole way until the end.
This was like, can I get out of the batter's box fast? This guy is a very big mistake. And I'm telling you, if the Yankees don't get to the World Series this year, it may even be possible if they don't win the World Series this year. I think it could be Aaron Boone's last year. It's a long time. He's probably the longest Yankee manager that has managed without a World Championship. Oh, he's coming home. He's coming home. Oh, beautiful slide. Beautiful slide. It's all on the slide. Beautiful slide. They had him. I thought they had him. Can anybody watch that now? Can we show this to somebody? This is a hell of it. This is a baseball play, kids. And the Yankees went for it. He could have been thrown out. Everybody could be really angry at the third base coach for bringing him in here. I saw a third base coach fired for this. But you don't fire this guy. This is the right decision. You got to create a run here. Look. What's the score, Ted?
It was 0-0 before that.
Okay. Well, nobody's giving you runs in this game. You got to take a risk to get them. That was a very, very smart decision. This is the second one I saw the third base coach make. Very smart. This guy could be my manager next year. Watch out, Aaron. Those were ballsy decisions, my friend. Now, the Yankees have to do what they do best right now. This is the time to, every team has a certain thing that is their signature, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, probably in most generations, this has always been their signature. What do you think that is?
Landed. You gonna go home?
No.
Didn't go home.
But that wasn't the Yankee signature.
No.
What's the signature of the Yankees? Well, you think of the Yankees, what do you really think of?
What's the signature?
What do you think of it in terms of
playing big bats, the Bronx Bombers.
When I think of the Cleveland, when I think of the Chicago Bears, I think of defense.
Yeah, I think of long ball hitters.
When I think of the Giants, I think of defense. When I think of the Packers, I think of defense with balance.
Yeah, I think of the Yankees, I think of big bats, long ball hitters.
Home runs.
Long ball hitters. The Bronx Bombers.
They have the most home runs in baseball by some amazing number. They're due for a home run. And the thing about them that's very, very strange, they all can do it. Every single batter there, some of them are better home run hitters than hitters. This was the guy who hit a home run in the first game, Volpe. He's the shortstop.
That one goes through.
Oh, yeah, there's a run. There's a run. There's a run. Ooh, he threw it away. Red Sox are getting a little sloppy. Yeah, you're getting worried about going back to Boston. You're getting worried about going back to Boston. I'm being
2-0.
I'm being restrained. You should see what happens at a ball game. You see the voice that's already going because I'm cheering too much.
Yep.
I used to do this. I was the mayor. I couldn't have a press conference the next day. I would have to go like this, put up my sign. I'm kidding.
Bases loaded, 1 out.
But this is when we blow it open. I mean,
got to get another run here.
They are sure getting the bat on the ball, Ted. All these kids can hit. And here's the nice thing about the Yankees. It's a young team, Ted.
Another huge swing for Wells. He's 0-2.
Good thing about young teams, though, they're not afraid. Now, nobody on the Red Sox at this point should be worried with 2 runs. In fact, there's no point at which this game is out of reach for either one of these 2 teams. My respect for the Red Sox is massive. It isn't like a little bit. This is a team that can come and get you if you're 5 runs ahead of them. Now, same thing is true of the Yankees. I've seen them this season be down by 7 or 8 runs, and it didn't matter. And I've seen the Red Sox do the same thing. They are extraordinarily gutsy teams. And starting in about 1998, 1999, Ted, they started to develop the same kind of team. And it was a very smart thing on the part of Henry and the people who went to they developed a team that could match and hopefully be better than the Yankees. So the Yankees were distinguished by the fact that they wouldn't swing at any pitch. They were extraordinary. The Yankees were trained to be very disciplined hitters. I'd rather have you strike out than to make a mistake and swing at a ball. The Yankees did that for a couple of years. What that does, among other things, is it teaches you to look for the right pitch. It also wears down a pitcher. It drives a pitcher crazy, particularly if you have the capacity to at least foul the ball off 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
A pitcher would like to get you out in 3, 4, 5 pitches. Then he can stay in the game. If everybody's costing him 12 pitches, the guy's ruined. Second thing is, the games need to take 5 hours. So everybody took every pitch.
Oh, yeah, no pitch clock.
And then the Red Sox got better at it. That's how they beat us.
In the mid 2000s,
from 2004 on, they were doing the same thing to us that we were doing to them. Every at bat was like a movie. Look at this one.
Right.
Look what Wells is doing. Wells, when this pitcher is finished, you're going to have to take him out of the game. And the catcher knows it. Look at the catcher. Navarro.
Something's going on here.
There's some kind of dispute going on.
Some sort of violation.
Somehow it's not involving Cora. It's involving the Yankees and the catcher. Who were the Yankees until last year, by the way? The Yankees are out there talking. What happened? Did he get hit?
No feelings whatsoever.
Did he hit the catcher? No.
It's a foul tip.
Foul
tip off the glove that the umpire
it's a foul tip.
So he thought it was catcher's interference based on the sound. But it was the
not
foul
catch,
tip.
whether it was catcher's interference or not. They're saying whether the catcher interfered with the bat.
Narvaez has had a handful of catcher interference calls. It doesn't appear as if this is going to be one. As we take a look at the replay review, it is powered by Zoom. Great pickup, Cody. Hit right off the top of the catcher's mitt.
What happened? Did they give him first base?
They're reviewing it now.
What?
They're reviewing it now. They're reviewing it.
It's all on sound.
Did you
There's
see it,
no
Ted?
way anybody can see
I'm looking, here
this
it
with
is.
the naked eye. It happens too quick.
And it's really loud in here.
No,
as well.
I don't think so. No.
Standing room right now.
After review, the bat did not hit the glove. There is no catcher's interference. Call on the field is overturned.
By the way,
He should word that differently. The glove didn't hit the bat. You should have worded that differently. The glove did not make contact with the bat. He said the bat didn't make contact with the glove. That's putting it on the
catcher trying to
Next pitch would be the ninth pitch
get
of
an
this
advantage
at
over the catcher. Both of them the catcher. The Yankee catcher at the plate. That's why he'd be aware of it. When I was a young catcher, I used to do that all the time. I like to be really close.
Yeah.
I never liked to be too far back. I
here
wanted
in the inning. On the ground, that's off the glove.
Oh my goodness. Now, that's an error, right? Or no?
Well, it was great. It was a what would I call that? I would call that a fortuitous hit. It was a very hard hit ball to the right side of the infield. I couldn't tell if it was the first baseman or the shortstop, the second baseman, who couldn't play it. Seemed to hit his heel and go in the air. It's going to be the first baseman who hit the glove.
Is that an error?
I don't know. That's a hard ball. What I would call that an error. But
Yeah,
it's not necessarily an error.
Okay.
I think a major league first baseman should make that play. It isn't the most complicated backhand play I've ever seen.
Oh, that was low.
It's too bad it's only the fourth inning.
Yeah. When we're well into soccer time.
I mean, I'll take the damn runs, but I know these teams. I've been through this. My first game ever with the Yankees and the Red Sox.
Oh, wow.
Do you know that I have the scorecard from that game?
Oh, yeah, he was. Oh! You got to be careful.
They think they get a full Volpe. Now, come on. Aaron, this is the
Here
time.
we go.
Wake up, baby. Scare the Dodgers.
Okay, Volpe knew.
Hoping.
He saw. I thought for a minute he was lax.
Well,
when you're young,
if you have the best home run hitter in baseball for the last 25 years, right?
Looks like they're pulling him. Pitching
bring
change.
a new pitcher in, correct?
Yeah, right before Judge.
Because the score is 4-0. There's a big difference between a 4-0 and a 6-0 game.
Yeah. That's right.
So shall we take a break?
We can. We can take.
So I can eat my pretzels?
We'll take another break so the mayor can enjoy some pretzels. It is baseball after all.
We're gonna take a short break.
And we'll be right back.
Here we are, pretty much at the beginning of the process here at this pristine, I call it a laboratory. It's not like a factory, it's like a hospital. This is the beginning of the process for roasting. Deep grain, very good quality. Most people don't use this quality. We deal with small farmers because they like to know who we're dealing with. They give us the highest quality, all organic, non-GMO. You should know all Arabica beans, no Robusto, all Arabica. They're going to go into the roaster, and it'll get roasted for about 20 minutes or so. Oh my goodness, look at these. My goodness. You're going to want to specially order these. This is what goes into Rudy's coffee.
As a veteran of many years of Yankee Red Sox games, I want to caution all Yankee fans and Ted, who really is a Detroit fan, but he's rooting for the Yankees because he always said the Yankees were like his second best team. You know who always said that also?
Let me guess.
Somebody you're going to be very admiring of.
Lombardi. Bush.
Lombardi was a Yankees fan. He became the Yankees.
Yankee Stadium. He probably coached there. Or did they not? Did they have?
Vince Lombardi used to go to Yankee games.
Wow.
What do you think he coached?
Yankee
Stadium.
Yeah, did they play at the same stadium?
But in any event,
He hit him. They hit Judge.
that's a good way to.
You're not supposed to hit the judge.
Judge actually think he did it on purpose. You see the look at now. Judge is a very nice man. There won't be any fight. There won't be, and he's a very intelligent man. This man was hit on purpose.
Oh, look at it! Hit him right. Yeah, you don't throw a punch like that.
He was hurt. That's on a very.
He's hurt there.
Yeah, he's hurt.
That's an unsportsmanlike play. Oh, that could have been a.
They hit him right here. Right here.
I don't like that. That's
and they did that to get to the other batter. Now, they didn't necessarily hit him. They would say they moved him back off the plate. But if they didn't hit him, they were going to walk him. They were not going to give Aaron Judge a chance to hit a home run and make it a 6-0 ball game. So Portland, Oregon. So there is a major investigation now going on with numerous federal law enforcement officials. And it appears as if, because nobody reports on this, right? This is part, when I say censorship, and we want to be the people who get you beyond, we're going to tell you the things that are censored. This is censored. You don't know this. If this were happening in a democratic society, you would know about this. But the press has destroyed us as a free press. So, do you know that for 100 days, Antifa has laid siege to the ICE detention facility in Portland, Oregon? It started before January 2. The lady who lives next to them is going nuts. She can't sleep. She does have a strange name, but I think everybody in Oregon has a strange name. You can't live in a place that is overwhelmed with cannabis and not have some kind of brain damage. I'm sorry. Have you ever been to Oregon? Have you ever watched them walking around? Can you tell me how to get to the movie theater? And you wonder what's going on. I mean, it's in the air all the time. So if you're there for a day or two, it doesn't affect. These people are there forever. Now, cannabis, marijuana, no matter how small, and of course, the worse it is, has an effect on the brain. Now, here's the dangerous part. It has effect on the brain to a large extent that affects violence and depression and schizophrenia, like really dangerous parts of the brain. Do you know alcohol does it? So remember when they were doing all that stuff about, we should make marijuana legal because we made alcohol legal. Now, that was a specious argument to start with. Let's say alcohol is not good for you. But somehow we tried to make it illegal and it didn't work. Should we follow that model with everything? Should we let you just take poison if you wanted? That's a ridiculous argument. You argue from the things that improve society, and then that's as Pete Hegseth mentioned the other day, that's the broken windows theory. You take the things that improve and you build on them. You take the things that don't work and you get rid of them. Well, why build on, even if marijuana and cannabis are the same, and alcohol is the same, why would you want to have as many drug addicts as you do alcoholics? We got that problem anyway. Why don't we work on that problem and reduce it instead of create a new one? I have never understood, and I've asked this question for 35 or 40 years. I've never understood why liberals, there used to be liberals, then they became progressives, and now they're anti-American communist whores. But I've never understood the argument that you should build your model on something that's a deterioration of society. There are certain kinds of deterioration that maybe you cannot stop. It doesn't mean that because of that, you don't stop any. Does this make sense? I hope so.
Yeah.
So Antifa laid siege to the ICE office, and this woman, I think she's a black woman, a disabled African-American woman, living next to the apartment complex, next to the place that they were laying siege, has individually attempted to go to court and get rid of them, and nobody will listen to her. This is how the Democrat Party serves the black community. These are all Democrats, and there isn't a Republican between San Francisco and Canada. If they are, they pretend they're not. And they just screw this black woman. A disabled African-American woman living in a low-income subsidized apartment next to the ICE facility. Woman's being tortured every day for 100 days. And they don't care. They don't care. Man, I don't know if you share this with me. I cannot stand phonies. Minneapolis, they did a study of the fraud being conducted by the illegals. They come up with a number of at least 50% is significant fraud. They can't be bothered to count the smaller fraud. What's the significant fraud? The significant, nearly half of all immigrants in greater Minneapolis were found to have committed some form of significant immigration fraud. Couple of examples. Sham marriages, fake death certificates. It wasn't a great surprise. The settlement of some 100,000 Somali immigrants in Minnesota over the past 3 decades. As far back as 2008, 80% of all claimed family relationships were lies. 80% of the people trying to bolster their entry into the United States by saying, that's my daddy, that's my child, that's my sister, that's my wife. 80%, 8 of 10 were false. Now, I know that we all, so then we take it from another point of view. So now this person who married somebody fraudulently, that's really shitty. That's really kind of like a shitty person. Gets in, and we don't know it. And 4 years later, we find out. Do we say, I'm sorry, we feel sorry for you because you've been here for 4 years and you came here by really making asses out of us, but we're going to keep you here? Or do we say, no, we would like this country to have really exceptional people that really can do remarkable things because we want our children to be right at the top. And if they're at the top, this is the only country that can take the world to the top, not little scumbag place you came from. So I'm sorry, we're going to have to send you back. You got here under false pretenses. Why the hell should we keep you?
about that? Took a page right out of Yoshida's book.
I'm sorry. Too early?
Well, the real question here is when you hear about that 80% of the numbers in Minnesota, which are staggering, is one of those numbers an extraordinarily significant political big mouth named Representative Ilhan Omar, who appears to have been married twice during the same period of time, one of which was to her brother. One marriage to what I imagine would be regarded as her, how can I say, which is a real marriage. So she was religiously married in 2016 to Ahmad Hershey, who is the father of her children. Ahmad Hershey, remember that name. However, records show that in 2009, which is 7 years before, she had married Ahmad Nur Saad Elmi, her brother, civilly. And the record's there. She was married to Selmi when she campaigned for state office in 2016, although her website claims she was married to Hershey, which was called false, untrue, and a big effing lie. It appears that the reason for her to marry her brother wasn't perversion. A lot of people make those claims about it. It doesn't appear it was in order to create immigration fraud. Now, the license that was executed for her and her brother, remember, Omar, what about Omar? But she is a very, very theoretically devout Muslim, right? She has the whole thing over her face all the time. She really hates all Jews, listening to Muhammad, a letter of the law. She sure as hell hates Christians. She's got a lot of hatred, which Muhammad, preaches hatred as a way of spreading the religion. It's not spread by love. There's nothing in Muhammad's second period, which is the one that dominated the history of the Muslim religion, not his first period when he was trying to con people. But her marriage license to her brother was executed by Militia Harris, who was a Christian minister. They're both Muslims. It has what we like to call in the law the indicia of falsity. Or how about we put it another way? It's screaming out crime, crime, crime. Ilhan Omar is a criminal, crime, crime, liar, liar, fraudster, fraudster, fraudster. Oh, but she's in Congress. Well, so what? Is she a Democrat? Yes. Oh, not unusual. With all of this, she gets elected to Congress in 2018. She filed tax returns with Hirsch. She was married to him at the time that she married her brother in America. Now, tell me why this isn't pursued. What are we afraid of? What's the special privileges to violate and desecrate our laws that we give to people for some incorrectly perceived racial, religious, ethnic compensation. Do you understand why this woman should be in Congress? It just is one lie after another, one fraud after another. It begs to suggest that she's here for a purpose. And I have a lot of experiences with countries that bring people here for a purpose. It happens much more than you think. So you should know that this is a very strange one, and I wonder how you feel about it, Ted. A fundraiser was set up in your home state of Michigan. For the family of Sanford, the killer.
Yes.
Thomas Sanford.
Yes.
And it was done by a member of the Church of the Latter-day Saints. He killed 4, he wounded 8. The creator, David Butler, is a devout Mormon. And what he says is that Sanford leaves behind a wife and child who must be grieving. Butler, who has no connection to the Sanfords, said in the petition, they will face financial hardship as a result of the week's horrifying events. It has raised $500,000 so far. I think the target is $1 million. Now, what do you think? Should we be sending money to the family of the killer? Or should that money go to the victims? I don't know.
I think it's up to the church. I mean, right? It's
well, or are you distorting people's perception?
Yeah, I guess if you're the leadership of the church, that money, yeah, you have 4 deaths. You have 4.
That's a lot of money, $500,000 for a killer's family.
Interesting.
I mean,
that's a tough one. I mean, it
is a tough one. I'm not sure how honestly, I'd have to think about that more. I'm not sure how I feel about it. If you really insist on an answer, send us a tweet or a text.
Yeah, message below. What do you think? And maybe we'll read some comments off. Well, we've just ended the 5th inning.
As long as you have done enough, sufficient, and generous to take care of the victim, and you are equally trying to do both, I'm okay with that. What I don't like, and I never have liked in our whole system, is that there is no real adequate recognition of the damage done by these horrible crimes to the victims and the victims' families. And I think if we focus more on the victims and the victims' families, we'd be much more effective in reducing crime. We would create a tremendous amount more motivation on the part of decent people to stop it. Crime, with a few exceptions, is not victimless. It claims a victim. That victim is innocent. The criminal's not. Now, the criminal may have all kinds of sympathetic explanations if you consider them for why he did it. But this guy didn't do anything. And he gets shit on. He doesn't get anything. He doesn't even get justice, much less money. The other guy can go write a book and make a fortune. Weird. Should be straightened out. Shouldn't be able to profit on a crime. Get profit on a crime, the money should go to the victim. Immediately. Rich people in this country should set up victims funds. Now, here's the worst thing about my country, any country, it's human nature. You see that suggestion that was so wonderful, victim fund? Here's what I believe after all my years as an investigator. In 5 years, it'd be a totally fraudulent fund. People would be coming around saying the victims of the crime that weren't. You got to figure out how to stop that too. A lot of work ahead of us. Do you people use Wikipedia?
Yeah.
You realize it's a completely lying,
Yeah.
completely communist, left-wing, Democrat piece of shit that directly lies. And you shouldn't use it. You should demand that it be taken off the internet. I don't know if the communists put it there to destroy us, but it is filled. And not only am I telling you that, and you think, oh, he's a crazy right-winger saying that shit. How about this? So Wikipedia was founded by Larry Sanger, who this week pointed out that the crowdsourced website outright censorship of conservative voices was rather complete. The news foundation that he ran and funded has viciously censored, for example, the Federalist, the New York Post, the Wall Street Journal, Newsmax, Fox, the Daily Caller, the Daily Mail, and did I mention the Post? Those are all listed as banned from being used as sources. So if the New York Post has an article about something great I did, you ain't going to see that. I mean, I could have pulled somebody out of the water with a remarkable risk of my own life. You're not going to see it because the New York Post is a suspect magazine or newspaper to the lefties that run that run Wikipedia.
Wow.
However, here are the reliable sources. They have it in a book, the reliable sources. CNN, the New York effing Times, NPR, Politico. These are places that repeatedly publish demonstrably false claims about Trump and Russia. COVID-19's origin. Who knows how many other things? And they're considered reliable sources, but not Fox News, Newsmax, Daily Caller, Daily Mail, or New York Post. Now, tell me that this isn't a political committee. This is not a First Amendment publication. This is like if you were trying to use the First Amendment to sell your product and you were hiding it under a blanket. This is a political committee. It should be governed by the rules of a political committee. Wikipedia. Wikipedia is I'm not going to say the Democrat Party. Wikipedia is a product of the much wider left-wing, socialist, nihilistic, anti-American communist ideology. And it eliminates anything good about you that comes from a legitimate American source like the New York Post, like Newsmax, like Fox News. That's all eliminated. And they're just going to go with CNN, The Times, NPR, and Politico. So there are significant numbers of Republicans who have been their biographies have been completely destroyed by Wikipedia. And no one anywhere warns you when you read this. You got to read this as a warped, left-wing attempt to take this country all the way to communism. Because that is what Wikipedia is. And I don't see any reason inconsistent with the First Amendment to close those bastards down. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to publish the left-wing stuff, but not the right-wing stuff. I'm going to draw conclusions from the left-wing stuff, not just from the right-wing stuff. And what, this is an independent operation of your mind and not part of the communist conspiracy to take over the United States? Give me a break.
Right.
If you put your finger on Wikipedia, you take a look at it, God could burn it.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Put Wikipedia. Blessed Mother came down at Fatima and said, don't fuck around with. No, she never said that. Oh, Rudy, why did you do that? Your mother's going to be so mad at you. Blessed Mother came down at Fatima and said, do you realize the danger of communism, what they're going to do and how they're going to take you over? Here's a danger of communism. Please be aware of it. An aware electorate can take care of anything. An electorate where they keep your eyes closed and they keep you sleeping all the time. They got you. And isn't it strange that our founding fathers warned us that our demise would come from that? And the president just this week said, we must most worry about the enemy from within. And the left-wingers either understood it or not. It's way beyond their, whatever they are. So I did mention, I think, but I'm going to mention really quickly as we now try I'm going to take a look at this picture. Oh, well, the Yankees got out of that inning. So let's see what the score is. We just finished an inning. Let's see. I know the Yankees have 4 runs, which I like, but it's getting later in the game. The Yankees are up now. It's 4-0. Oh my goodness, and it's still only at the top of the 6th inning. This is like an old-fashioned Red Sox game, Ted.
Yeah.
Where they take so long.
Bottom of the 6th.
They must be watching every pitch, and it is an important game, I will say that.
And I remember it started at 8:08. We're almost 2 hours in.
It's almost 10 o'clock.
And it's almost 10, 2 hours for 6 innings, right? Yeah, it's looking like a 3-hour game.
We're animals.
Yeah.
We could be playing.
Oh, absolutely. You should be managing. You should be managing.
One shot at this guy. Well, so the New Jersey Senate race is going to be a Republican victory. Mickey Sherrill is a phony candidate. She never should have graduated from the military academy. She was caught cheating. Now, I don't know what you think about cheating. I think when you cheat as a kid, there's a good chance you're going to spend the rest of your life cheating. Not as bad as when you kill cats. I grew up in Brooklyn, and I saw these kids throwing cats over the Brooklyn Bridge. They wanted me to join them. I said, get out of here. And I went home and I told my mother. And my mother said, you tell them the next time they do that, you're going to turn them into the police. Then my father came over. My father was very different from my mother. My father taught me how to box. He said, the next time the guy comes, you don't want to get the police involved. You're only a bunch of kids. Nobody's going to care. These guys big, they're about my size, Dad. Can you take them? Yeah, probably 2 of them. He said, the next guy that comes over to you and says he wants you to help with the cat, you take the cat. If he tries to take the cat back, hit him with the right hand I showed you. That'll stop him. So next time I went out, I did that. I hit him. I just took the cat. The guy walked away like a little coward. I said, give me that fucking cat. I didn't know what to do with it. The cat didn't even like me. It was going like this. I had a good cat too, Missy. She was a very good cat. So this Cheryl woman, I mean, it's like beyond discussion. She cheated in the Navy Academy. She wasn't allowed to graduate with a class. She claims she wasn't allowed to graduate with her class because she didn't rat on the people who cheated. Well, that's kind of irrelevant. The question is, did she cheat? And how about we look at it another way? Because she didn't want to be unpopular, she would not bring forward to the United States military kids who cheated, who should not be military officers. That's a fundamental flaw to your character that could result in the death of sailors under your command. I didn't make that up. There she is. The phony, she couldn't graduate from a class, but because it used to be a woke department of woke, they let her go in the military. Now, I don't have the details, so I got to be careful about it. So, and I'm going to try to get them. I tried to follow them. They were very complicated because they hide them. They hide them. Her husband did pretty much the same thing. And just last week, with this terrible record of the two of them as an absolute embarrassment to the Naval Academy. I mean, it's an embarrassment they graduated her. Why would you graduate somebody? Make them an officer in the United States Navy, which is supposed to mean honor, who wasn't allowed to graduate. Who the hell was running the country? Hitler? Stalin? Mussolini? She has no business being in the military. Now, kind of like a legacy, she's gotten her two kids into the military academy from a school that has like about 9% that ever get in. Like a really not a great school. And it looks on the papers like her kids have no way to be qualified for the academy. But we're going to create a legacy with a cheating cadet. No harm on her kids. They should go make their own way. But they shouldn't get the benefit of her being a cadet because she was a cheating cadet. How stupid is that? How about the other kids that don't have that problem? And they're not qualified anyway. And she's taking advantage. Finally, the other day on a Democratic news program, I think it was a black reporter, asked her, Congressman Cheryl, can you explain how you're worth $7 million more now? And her answer was, I can't. Okay, resign. I'm sorry, if you can't explain to me how you're worth $7 million, $7 million is a lot of money. I'm going to tell you, if I was worth 300 million more, or 400 million more, 400,000 more, not a million, maybe I wouldn't know it. I probably would. I look at my statement. If I was worth $7 million more, and I was in public office, I damn well would know because I do have to report it. And if you don't know how you have to report, why don't you go back to the New Jersey traffic court and fix tickets, which is what a lot of Democrats in New Jersey spend their lives doing. But this has got to be an election where Jack Civarelli wins. He's getting attacked for bringing these facts out. There isn't a single fact here that isn't relevant as hell. You don't want in the United States Senate a cheating cadet. Sorry. Looks like supported by a husband who was a cheating cadet, who then pushes her kids into the academy based on her legacy, which is a legacy of being a cheating cadet. Does any of that make any sense? I am sorry, but I was looking over here as Aaron Judge made an excellent catch to help out Jazz Chisholm, who's about half his size. And when he went like this, it seemed so sweet because he's in the pen. And Jazz Chisholm is so. And where are we now? We're in the
top of the seventh.
Top of the seventh. It's still 4-0. I would like to have seen us expand that a little.
Yeah.
I don't that way. I'm going to spend a lot of time on this election. But I think I have I have like a feeling in here. Please, it's only a feeling in here. I could be very wrong. Just listen to me and I'll develop it one way or the other. This could be a very bad person here. It certainly is an example of the Democrat Party of today, right? Look at them all. Look at the congressman in the senator in Connecticut who claimed he was in battle in Vietnam. And he's running around making all kinds of pious statements about I don't even know what, but every time he's on, he's like James Cardinal Comey. I mean, these people are complete frauds. What the hell are they doing was the U.S. Senate made up for Democrats to elect complete frauds? Starting with Lyndon Johnson, who died with $27 million in the bank? It's been too long. The time has now come to eliminate the party of slavery and build another alternative party that will be a credit to the United States of America. I'm not going to be part of it because I like the party I'm in, but I would like another alternative party I could debate with. I used to like the Democratic Party, even when I left it, because there still were a lot of people there that were sensible. And every once in a while, they would change my mind. And every once in a while, I would change their mind. And we sure as hell didn't hate each other. We hate each other. Please, I know this sounds self-serving, but you know it's because of them, not us. How can we not hate someone who subscribes or is being utilized by the communist philosophy to try to destroy us? So Mondami is now suggesting that if the Civilian Complaint Review Board says that a cop should be removed, the police commissioner cannot reverse that. In other words, the police commissioner does not run the police department. The lefty wacko, jackass idiots who are on the CCRB that would destroy any cop should decide who gets fired. Now, isn't that illegal? First of all, when I was the mayor, honestly, I decided who was fired. The police department is not an independent agency somehow created in democratic hell. It's called, for a very special reason, a mayoral agency, meaning it belongs to the mayor, like the president is the chief executive. I occasionally would have to remind, particularly one police commissioner, I was in charge. But I had no doubt about that. Well, I'm being lobbied to shut up, which may help you too.
Some of our audience is mentioning the voice.
So what? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So how about we do this? When my voice stops,
yeah.
I'll stop. Is it bothering you? I tell you what, you know what I'll do? I'll write it out.
yeah. Right.
Okay. So what do we have? I'm going to save some of these for tomorrow night, okay? I had really good stuff tonight.
We covered a lot of it. We got to most of it.
Mondami wants to allow the CCRB to be the final voice on the police because he knows the CCRB is a communist left wing, destroyed the police organization, and therefore he doesn't have to be the one on the hook for firing all the cops. The CCRB can't. I've never heard of a mayor that wants to give away power. I've never heard of that. Except a conniving little son of a bitch like this. This is a really bad guy. There is nothing wrong with the New York City Police Department. Please, can I tell you this? It's not racist. Its record is superior. It's not a white police department. It's not a black police department. It's not a brown police department. It has no majority race. It doesn't run by race. It runs by talent because we can't afford to run it by race or by gender because we'll get people killed that way. Not everybody can pick up a 240-pound man and pick him up and take him out of a shootout. That's what we need. Well, there's plenty more for us to cover, and we have plenty more time. Well, I don't mean now. I mean later. We're going to go, and we're going to watch the end of the Yankee game. It is 4-0. I'm going to tell you, as a long time Yankee Red Sox maniac, my first game at 7 years old, 6 or 7 years old, was at Yankee Stadium, Yankees versus the Red Sox. A very kind man. At a speech I gave here about 7 or 8 years ago, talking about baseball, was able to recreate when that game was very accurately. It was a game in which Joe DiMaggio was playing. It was a game in which Dominic DiMaggio was playing. It was a game in which they both hit singles to each other. Now, Joe had been injured for much of that season, so that limited the games. It was only at Yankee Stadium. There was only one game that year when Joe and Dominic hit shots to each other. Now, why did that affect a little boy so much? I said to my father, Daddy, I don't understand why they're playing for different teams. They're brothers. He just laughed. He said, that's the way it is in baseball. Isn't it weird that stayed in my mind? Then the guy, and I remembered Eddie Lopat was the pitcher. So I mentioned this in a speech here in New Hampshire about 12 years ago. And this guy was kind enough. He had like every Yankee, and he gave it to me. My first game. I remember walking out, seeing the green. Oh, been quite a rivalry. Do you know? Make sure Carbonate's not around. Or my son.
Chambers are hoping for something special.
affection for the Red Sox because of the rivalry. I love the rivalry. This is the biggest and greatest rivalry in sports. Nothing creates the tension, the interest. I was in London for a Yankee Red Sox series twice, and they are driven by it. They're not. They want you to explain. They want me to explain to them what it is. Well, I see Judge just flew out. I'm not happy about that, but I'm going to live with it. And we'll be back with you tomorrow night. My voice will be better, I promise. And we're pretty soon going to be back 1 mile from the greatest president in the history of America, pretty much, at this point. Certainly a lifetime, right? Things are getting complicated with Hamas and Israel. It's hard to tell what's going on. One side says they agree, the other side says they don't. Bibi is telling people, get the hell out of Gaza. Looks like he's ready to shoot, so we don't know. We'll be back tomorrow and we'll tell you exactly where we are. This whole thing about the shutdown is very fluid. This thing could change really, really quickly. So you come back to us tomorrow at 7 on Lindell TV, and then again at 8 o'clock on X, America's Mayor Live. We'll know by then if we're getting ready for a next series or not. And between now and then, I'll watch this. And I've grown beyond the fact that there's a risk that if the Yankees lose, I might do something like dramatic. Okay. You know, I love you. We love our audience. That's why we work so hard for you. We try to get you what nobody else does. I hope we do. So pray for the people of Israel. Pray for the people of Ukraine. Pray for the people of Iran. Pray for the people of the United States, and pray for our great president so he can keep it up. It's hard. It's harder than he makes it look. God bless him. And God bless America.
It's our purpose to bring to bear the principle of common sense and rational discussion to the issues of our day. America was created at a time of great turmoil, tremendous disagreements, anger, hatred. There was a book written in 1776 that guided much of the discipline of thinking that brought to us the discovery of our freedoms, of our God-given freedoms. It was Thomas Paine's Common Sense, written in 1776, one of the first American bestsellers, in which Thomas Paine explained, by rational principles, the reason why these small colonies felt the necessity to separate from the Kingdom of Great Britain and the King of England. He explained their inherent desire for liberty, for freedom, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, the ability to select the people who govern them. And he explained it in ways that were understandable to all the people, not just the elite. Because the desire for freedom is universal. The desire for freedom adheres in the human mind, and it is part of the human soul. This is exactly the time we should consult our history. Look at what we've done in the past and see if we can't use it to help us now. We understand that our founders created the greatest country in the history of the world, the greatest democracy, the freest country, a country that has taken more people out of poverty than any country ever. All of us are so fortunate to be Americans. But a great deal of the reason for America's constant ability to self-improve is because we're able to reason, we're able to talk, we're able to analyze. We are able to apply our God-given